Lyndon Arthur is back, ready to stake a claim for a shot at world glory when he takes on Argentina's Walter Gabriel Shechiera. Part of a huge night of action on Saturday, September the 17th. It's live and free on Channel 5.
This is Mohammed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Just wrapped up the press conference for Canelo Golovkin.
You love the light, don't you? It's like, what's next? Waterboarding?
Waterboarding?
Yeah. It's like interrogation techniques.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do you want an interrogation?
It's what you give me every time, Umar.
Wrapped up that press conference. I thought they were going to be a bit more fiery, but I think we're just 2 days away from fight night.
They've had enough. You know, the media obligations have been huge this week, head-to-heads, obviously. They're ready to fight. They're ready to give us, I think, one of the great fights of our generation. The rivalry is probably the best rivalry in boxing, you know, of this generation. And they'll go and do it all again on Saturday night. I think they'll kick off where they left off from the 12th round of number 2. And I think Canelo Alvarez will come forward all night, and so will Gennady Golovkin. And I think they're going to have an absolute war. I don't see this fight going 12 rounds though this time, but I could be wrong because they've both got granite chins. But it's going to be a brilliant fight.
Do you think Canelo's emotions and his personal involvement in this rivalry might get over him, and Golovkin might take advantage from that?
I wonder whether they've tried to keep a lid on it today, especially because, you know, Gennady Golovkin, I feel like, wants Canelo to lose his emotions in this fight. He wants him to be reckless, and I think he will be reckless. I think he's going to take chances in this fight. But, you know, at the same time, you can't be too reckless against Gennady Golovkin. I mean, the way that he boxed in the second fight was a surprise to everyone, quite honestly. And I think he'll fight the same way. And that's why I think we'll get an amazing fight. In
terms of the judging, etc., for the first 2 fights, I think the first one, everyone had Golovkin. Second one was much closer, but a lot of people still did have Golovkin. Are there concerns? The fans and media have been talking about the fact that Canelo's a massive pay-per-view star, selling out arenas constantly. He's got a massive Mexican fan base behind him. Is there concerns about the judging?
I don't think that the number of pay-per-view buys you do necessarily dictates the scorecards. But of course, when you have the whole arena cheering for you, sometimes that can, in a close round. You know, that's something that we see, and that's the benefit of being home and away, as they say, you know, in terms of bringing fighters to your backyard. But ultimately, look, both fights were very, very close. I had Canelo Alvarez winning the second fight. The first fight was very close.
Who did you have in that?
I had it a draw, but you could easily give an argument for Gennady Golovkin in that fight and Canelo Alvarez, but that was a very close fight. I thought the fight that Canelo Alvarez boxed in the second fight was outstanding. No one expected him to fight like that, but it's how you score a fight, and, you know, I think this fight's going to be very close. I think up at 168 pounds, it's really going to suit Gennady Golovkin. And don't forget as well, he's shared 24 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. He knows how to fight him. It's not like he's going in there and is he good enough to compete? We know he can compete, and I think he'll really compete on Saturday night. I think it'll be a very close fight.
You still think above 750,000 pay-per-view buys in the US?
Yeah, I mean, already tracking to huge numbers. The undercard's fantastic. Got the weigh-in tomorrow. Wait till you see the scenes outside the T-Mobile. I'm sure they'll come together one last time. It's going to do huge numbers on Saturday.
I know we've talked about the whole pay-per-view thing, and DAZN need that functionality to be able to compete for the fights and put on pay-per-view fights, but I know you went on record and people from DAZN saying at a certain price point pay-per-view is dead. Obviously this is $85. It's quite expensive, very expensive. So do you see what people would say?
No one can ever deny Canelo Triple G is a pay-per-view fight, right? It's been pay-per-view before. It's done over 1 million buys both times. It's the biggest fight in boxing. But what I'm talking about is people keep putting on pay-per-view events at 60, 70, 80 pounds. I'm talking about Ruiz against Ortiz. I'm talking about Ruiz against Arreola or Ortiz against Charles Martin. You know, these kind of pay-per-view events at 50, 60, 70 dollars. And I just don't think that that's right. But you're going to get fights like Canelo Golovkin that are standout pay-per-view events, and that won't change.
Just away from this, how was your call with George Warren yesterday?
Yeah, it was all right. We're still waiting for the contract, but I spoke to him again this morning. He said we'll have it tonight. So what time is it now? 9 o'clock in the UK. So we'll see. You know, again, no one's sort of ducking and hiding. You know, the communication is ongoing, and obviously there has to be a conversation between broadcasters as well. But we await the contract.
Get your reaction to Alexander Usyk wanting to fight Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, I understand. You know, if Fury fights AJ, then, you know, we believe AJ wins that fight. But if he does, there's a rematch clause, so he wouldn't be able to fight Usyk anyway. And if Fury was to beat AJ, he wouldn't be ready to fight probably till May, June. So Usyk's probably thinking, I'll have my own fight, and I think the Wilder fight is a good fight.
What do you think Saudi Arabia are thinking at this point? They had that fight nearly locked in with Fury and Usyk for the undisputed, and now they're both going different directions.
Mate, you know, it could be, the cynic in me might say that it's the last, you know, it's a way to try and get more money from them for the Fury against Usyk fight. We'll see. But certainly Saudi Arabia want the undisputed fight. That's what they've been building up for, but it wouldn't happen for a while if Fury was to fight AJ and Usyk was to fight Wilder.
Last one, Boxer won the purse bids for Dalton Smith and Casey Benjamin. Is Dalton going to go through with that? Have you had a conversation?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, look, it was a big bid. I think, can't remember what we bid. I think we lost by 10-15% on the bid, and you know, we'll speak to Dalton and the team. And yeah, no problem. You know, you've seen us win. We won the Bridges O'Connell purse bid. We lost that purse bid. There's going to be a lot of purse bids coming up. And Dalton Smith wants to make sure that he wins that Lonsdale belt outright.
Quickly, I didn't ask you about Lee Wood, obviously not fighting Lara anymore. What's going to happen to Lee Wood?
Look to reschedule the Lara fight. So I expect that to happen at the end of this year.
Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad, I've punched him a few more times.
5 blokes outside my front door, you coming in?
One hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.